Hello and welcome to Tech This Week. Startup funding frenzy continues. A whole host of startups raised funds this week with skyrocketing valuations. One of the most significant ones was CoinSwitch Kuber. In today's episode, we speak to Ashish Singhal, co-founder and CEO of cryptocurrency startup CoinSwitch Kuber, which has raised $25 million from Tiger Global. But first, let's take a look at the top headlines from this week. With $125 million fundraise, ChargeP is the latest SaaS unicorn. Revenue management and subscription billing platform ChargeP is the latest SaaS unicorn with a mega growth round of $125 million. The round, dubbed as Series G, was led by new investor Sapphire Ventures and returning investors Tiger Global Management, Insight Ventures Partners, and Steadview Capital. With the fresh capital, the company is now valued at $1.4 billion, almost 3 times the valuation it had received in its previous round of funding, led by Insight Venture Partners in October 2020. The company will use the capital to expand geographically and increase its partner network. RazorPay raises the most this week, triples valuation. Bengaluru-based fintech startup RazorPay raised $160 million in a growth funding round, led by returning investor Sequoia India and Singaporean sovereign wealth fund GIC. Ribbit Capital and Matrix Partners also participated in the round, which has tripled the startup's valuation to $3 billion in less than 6 months. This marks one of the fastest valuation increase in the Indian unicorn space. The fresh funds will be used by the company to expand its footprint to South Asian markets such as Malaysia and Singapore, scale up its new banking suite, which is called RazorPay X, with new products, and invest in acquiring B2B financial SaaS startups to better serve its merchant base. SaaS unicorn Dhruva hits $2 billion valuation with CDPQ-led growth round. Cloud service provider Dhruva raised $147 million in a growth round led by global investment group CDPQ. Returning investor Neuberger Berman also joined the round, which values the company over $2 billion. The current round takes the total investment raised by the company to $475 million. Dhruva will use the capital for expansion and extend company's industry leadership. The company last raised $130 million in June 2019, led by Viking Global. Tiger Global leads funding round in Pristine. After making its maiden cryptocurrency investment this week, Tiger Global led a $53 million growth funding round in Gurugram-based healthcare startup Pristine Care. With this round, Pristine has doubled its valuation to $550 million in 6 months. The round, dubbed as Series D, also saw participation from returning investors Sequoia Capital, Hummingbird Ventures, and Epic Capital. Pristine Care said that it will utilize the capital to foray into new surgery specialties, expand its geographical presence, and build its brand. And it rained M&A deals too this week. SMB's focused payment services company InstaMojo acquired Bengaluru-based virtual theatre platform Showman in an undisclosed deal this week. The acquihire is expected to help InstaMojo strengthen its product and tech skills. In another deal, esports platform Mobile Premier League acquired New Delhi-based Gaming Monk for an undisclosed amount. The acquisition is expected to help MPL to accelerate the launch of its new tournament IPs and develop a full suite of esports and broadcasting capabilities. Earlier this week, Morgan Stanley infrastructure fund-backed IBUS Network acquired Yubico Networks from Shyam Group for about 100 crore rupees. IBUS has acquired a 100% stake in Yubico, including its in-building and in-campus neutral host infrastructure business and all related assets in an all-cash deal. Yubico founders have completely exited the company, while 33 of its employees will join IBUS. According to IBUS, the deal makes them one of the largest neutral in-building solution companies with a pan-India presence covering in every Tier 1 city. Another big deal signed this week was Tech Mahindra acquiring hybrid cloud automation and DevOps services provider DigitalOnUS for $120 million. Tech Mahindra picked up a 100% stake in the company through an all-cash deal. The strategic acquisition is expected to strengthen Tech Mahindra's offerings in hybrid cloud digital transformation segment and add DevOps and cloud-native development capabilities. Tech Mahindra will also leverage the expertise of DigitalOnUS to build multi-cloud platforms, modernize IT security, and accelerate the cloud modernization journey of enterprises by unlocking cloud operating models. Yet another data leak this week. Domino's India data breach allegedly exposes 1 million credit card and 180 million order details. Adding to a slew of recent corporate data breaches, millions of records of pizza chain Domino's customer data have allegedly been leaked online. According to tweets from Israel-based co-founder and chief technology officer of cybercrime intelligence firm Hudson Rock, Alan Gall, the data is worth 13 terabytes, which includes as many as 180 million order details, phone numbers, emails, addresses, payment details, and 1 million credit card details. The data, according to Gall, was up for sale on the dark web, and the threat actor is asking for $550,000 for the data. The threat actor also had plans to build a search portal to enable searching the data. However, a spokesperson from the parent company of Domino's India, Jubilant Foodworks, said that the company experienced an information security incident recently, but no data pertaining to financial information of any person was accessed, and the incident has not resulted in any operational or business impact. He also said that the company does not store financial details or credit card data of customers, and thus no such information has been compromised. IBM Watson introduces data privacy module and various other tools. IBM introduced new capabilities in IBM Watson with new tools for client businesses to govern and explain artificial intelligence-led decisions, increase insight accuracy, mitigate risks, and meet privacy and compliance requirements. By integrating with Watson Knowledge Catalog, IBM Open Pages can now provide businesses with near real-time view of how private data is being used in an organization and automate the reporting of personally identifiable information to improve accuracy and reduce audit times. Earlier this week, IBM reported about 1% decrease in quarterly revenue, partially offset by a 21% rise in cloud revenue at $6.5 billion. The total revenue of the company fell to $17.73 billion in the first quarter ended March 2021 from $17.57 billion a year earlier. IBM Chairman and CEO Arvind Krishna said, "Strong performance this quarter in cloud, driven by increased client adoption of our hybrid cloud platform and growth in software and consulting, enabled us to get off to a solid start for the year." Next up, Ola to set up hypercharger networks for electric two-wheelers. In a major push to the EV industry, ride-hailing major Ola has decided to set up charging networks to support its electric two-wheelers. The Ola hypercharger network, which will come bundled with its electric scooter, is already in the deployment phase, and it is going to be a combination of high-speed hyperchargers along with home chargers. The company aims to deploy more than 100,000 such charging points across 400 cities in the next 5 years, and in the first year alone, it looks to set up over 5,000 charging points across 100 cities in India, more than double the number of existing charging infrastructure in the country. Paytm expands ESOP pool to $604 million. 197 Communications, which operates digital payments platform Paytm, has expanded its current employee stock ownership option, which is the ESOP scheme, to $604 million. The expanded allotment, which looks to attract and retain top talent, has added 2,42,904 fresh equity options to its existing ESOP pool, taking the total to 24,09,428. The freshly added equity options are worth $61 million. A resolution regarding the new allotment was passed by the company's board on March 26th. Moving on to the big story of the week, CoinSwitch Kuber became the US-based Tiger Global's maiden crypto bet in India after raising $25 million from them for its Series B round. The round values CoinSwitch Kuber to over $500 million now. So let's welcome my colleague Debangana Ghosh, who is in conversation with Ashish Singhal, co-founder and CEO of CoinSwitch Kuber, to understand the intricacies of the deal. Over to you guys.
Hi Ashish, thanks for joining us on the call this week. Well, firstly, congratulations on getting this big funding deal. And So what does this mean for the company going ahead?
Sure. So thanks a lot first for inviting me, Devangna. And for the company, I would say for the industry, this is a very big mark, right? A fund like Tiger trusting crypto industry in India and trusting CoinSwitch team marks not only, a big development for the company, but for the industry itself, which has been in the doubts for quite some time, right? From the regulatory standpoint. This also puts us at par with the global players like Coinbase, where, Tiger had invested in Series E, almost $300 million, and showed their trust when they were also dealing with similar situations in the US, right? So this funding route not only helps us establish as the biggest player, but also gives crypto industry a way forward, outlook that, even global players are seeing would play out in India.
Right. So how do you plan to deploy the funds?
So we plan to deploy the funds primarily in three segments. One is creating user education. So cryptocurrencies have been, misrepresented or have been looked at with the side eye for quite some time in India. The idea is how can we establish the right education for cryptocurrencies in India and educate people on what this new asset class is like and who should participate in this asset class. Second, obviously, as a team, we are very young. We are just about 135 people. We want to hire the best people in India to establish this industry itself. We want to reach to about 300 people by the end of the year, mostly focusing on tech and product hiring. And third, which is, equally important, is the security and stability of our platform, which we want to invest and, take it to the next level to be able to cater the demand that we are seeing today.
Right. And like you rightly mentioned sometime back that there has been a lot of uncertainties around cryptocurrency at a policy level in India. But despite that, we have been seeing there has been influx in terms of funding in cryptocurrency exchanges or related startups, as well as there has been news like Coinbase setting up business in India. In your view, why are we seeing such an influx from international investors in this category when there indeed is such an uncertainty in India?
Sure. So I think the answer is very simple because we are not the only one, or the situation in India is not unique. Every big crypto company has gone through the exact same cycle in their respective countries, be it Coinbase, be it, Kraken. Everyone has faced these kind of challenges, and ultimately the regulators were able to understand, how this could benefit the users, the companies, and the government alike, and form the regulations rather than outright banning the crypto industry itself, right? People believe that this would play out similarly in India as well, where, the market leaders like us and, governments can engage and form the right regulations in India, which would ultimately protect users, innovators, and, fulfill the outcome for the government as well, which is, generating more jobs, creating a new industry altogether. And definitely, government would not want to miss out on the next tech revolution which blockchain is bringing in.
And who are your target customers? What kind of an income category are you looking at?
Sure. So rather than income category, we look for, so crypto is a very new asset class, right? It comes with its own set of risks. So personally, I believe that this segment is for all the users, but based on their obviously risk and reward appetite, right? So I personally believe that, at least 4 to 5% of everyone's portfolio should be dedicated to crypto to create a comprehensive or to create a better portfolio for themselves and their needs of the future. And obviously it depends on their risk appetite. Most of our user base comes today, which are very young, who have high risk appetite. So 60% of our users are less than 26 years of age, are very young and investing in crypto. Doesn't mean that, the other segment do not invest, but this is the most active segment that we have onto our platform today.
So now, given the growth that CoinSwitch Kuber has been seeing since its launch, do you have plans to expand into other geographies beyond India?
We believe that the opportunity in India is much, much larger. To be honest, only 0.2% of India invest beyond fixed deposits, right? You have seen companies like Zerodha having a cap of about, say, 35 million users onto the platform, right? Which is very less in terms of the potential in India for investment. So the opportunity to create an asset class or a platform where people can start investing, more and more Indians can start investing, is something that we are totally focused on. And other geographies are, obviously they are there in our head, but they are today not the priority. The priority is to build for India and to grow in India to 100 million users.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Tech This Week. Do stay tuned in for more interesting news and updates, and also take very good care of yourselves as we continue to battle COVID-19. Thank you very much.